What's up? I'm Bret Epic Mazur, and you are watching On That Note with Sean Stockman.
Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of On That Note, the place where we speak a language we all understand, and that is music. I am your humble host, Sean Stockman, and today's guest he's a multi-platinum songwriter and producer who's been in the business for over 35 years. He's worked with the likes of New Edition, Bell Biv DeVoe, Eazy-E, Will.i.am, Prince, Seal, New Kids on the Block, and so many others. His production range is so expansive, your little kids may have danced and sang to some of his music as well. One of the truest music men and lover of hip hop I know. He's a longtime friend and someone I hope to work with in some capacity before I get too old, or something.
It's going to happen.
Okay.
We know. We already talked about it.
All right. It's on record, guys. So he said it. So it's going to happen because he said so. Okay. Okay. He's a prime example of being able to thrive extremely well in the music business without always having to be in front of the crowd. Although he has found success in that realm too. He's going to share with us his knowledge on how to actually still be active in this wild, wild west we call the music business. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Bret Epic Mazur. Hey. Now, Bret, check this out, right? And you may not want to.
I gotta say thank you. I'm humbled by that, and I'm grateful to be sitting here and hearing that from somebody that I respect as much as you.
It's all facts, man. You did it.
Well,
I was just regurgitating the facts, man. These are the stats that you created. So thank you for just being here and actually knowing you, because even before I knew you, I loved your music before I even knew who you were. So honestly, it's an honor for me because I've been rocking to your shit for as long as I can remember. So thank you. Now, I do deep dives when I know that someone's coming on before we have a conversation. And I know Bret Epic Mazur is what your handle is. You don't have a middle name?
my real middle name?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Hadley.
Hadley. That is nowhere.
Hadley.
Yeah, that is nowhere in anywhere.
No. No, it has become Epic. I needed an H from my dear grandmother who passed away before I was born. Her name was Helen. And they could have named me Henry or Hank, but the middle name was Hadley in honor of my grandmother Helen.
That's awesome. So Hadley it is. I couldn't find it anywhere. I even asked ChatGPT and they were like, no, we don't have any records.
Yeah.
We don't have any record of his middle name. It's just Epic. I'm like, there's no way his mother
No.
named him Epic. Now, here's the thing. Again, the beautiful thing about these podcast conversations is that you guys get to actually know the people that I've known for years. And I'm fortunate enough to know such amazing people. Now, I got a text from a person that we both know, Miss Stacey Harris.
Yeah.
Stacey Harris, for those of you who do not know, is the barber extraordinaire. She cuts my hair, which she did. She kills it. She cuts Eddie Murphy's hair. She cuts Martin Lawrence, Anthony, and she's cut everybody. Okay, everybody knows Stacey, and she kind of gave me a couple of stories.
Okay. Oh God.
That we're gonna run because you guys grew up together.
We did.
And let's start off light. You basically got your name Epic from her brother. That's what she told me.
I can't remember if it was her or her brother. Kwesi is her brother, Stacey and Kwesi.
Yes.
I have always thought that it was her, but if she's saying it was her brother, then I believe her. But what it was we're in high school and I'm starting to DJ and we got our hip hop crew and
the Bionic Breakers, actually.
That's right. That's right, the Bionic Breakers. And so
Sean will find your dirt. Don't do any dirt with Sean.
you know, a recurring theme that I'll probably talk about during this whole thing is the fact that the price of admission back then was much higher than it is now.
Yes.
So if you were, and we were hip hop heads to the core.
Yes.
So if you were a hip hop head, it took a lot of work. Nowadays, everything comes to you on your phone. And everything was really split, East Coast, West Coast. It was, you know, the hip hop in LA was kind of like this like lace Prince oriented Jerry curl kind of thing. Egyptian Lover. I'm not taking anything away from it.
Arabian Prince.
Yeah, Arabian Prince, all that. And New York hip hop was much different. I'm originally from New York.
Yeah.
Stacy is, Kwesi, and
Yeah.
and then our crew, our high school had. Did she tell you anything else about our?
Yes. She the Bionic Breakers, and there was a crew called CPW.
Central Park West.
Central Park West.
Well, but
Which
also,
borough are you from? Just so was context.
I'm born in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is that in our high school was O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube, and he was Ice Cube back then too.
Okay.
Was Danny Boy and Everlast from House of Pain.
Interesting.
Was Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine.
Damn.
What?
Was Sir Jinx from the Lynch Mob.
What?
We were all friends. And every day during lunch in the F hall, which was adjacent to it was just one of the halls near the food court. There was a breakdance battle happening. Somebody had a boombox, and we were all there.
Right.
And I wasn't a good enough breaker to continue
I was going to say if you were going to mention that. Stacy was like, yeah, he didn't really break that good.
Yeah.
So he went into the music part.
Yeah, so I got like 2 or 3 windmills. You know, you had to get what was called nutcrackers. You had to be grabbing your nuts and just flying all over. I mean, they were good. Right. And so I couldn't find my way there, and I wasn't a good enough graffiti artist. Stacy was a really good graffiti artist. Music was always my calling anyway.
Right.
So I already had a drum set, and I was a drummer, and I started DJing, and I started making beats, and off I went.
Okay. Well, now, but first, before we get into that journey, we're going to go back way even before then.
Okay.
And let's say 1981, you were 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
Your father was manager of Billy Joel's first manager, Irvin.
Well, my dad, Irwin,
excuse me.
Yeah, Irwin, he actually it was 19 before I was born. So it was 1966 through 71, 72. And that's what brought my family out from New York to LA. So it wasn't until a few years later that he became what, as the world knows him, as the Piano Man.
Right.
But he managed him from the time he was 16 to the time he ushered him to his first deal at Columbia Records.
Dig. Okay. So, all right, cool. So fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
10 years old, 81, you're in LA. What got you into hip hop, man? Like what drew you to that culture?
The earliest things that I can remember was like Double Dutch Bust and like Malcolm McLaren and just that kind of stuff. It was I wasn't really into like the alternative forms of music other than like the normal pop would have been like heavy rock. That wasn't me. I was more soulful. So I was into more soulful music and hip hop just kind of was infused into those early
100%.
Records.
Yeah, it was a lot of R&B incorporated, especially in the beginning stages. Now, which groups stand out to you the most as during that time? What artists did you I guess magnate to the most?
At that real early age or a little bit later?
At that age.
I mean, I love the Gap Band and all that, all that stuff. And so you got to understand, you understand, and music people understand. And my beautiful wife, Shanessa, always tells me like I'm like a savant, the way I listen to music and the way I break things down.
Mm-hmm.
But she has amazing taste in music. And I wonder if she listens to music the way I do, and she doesn't. The way we listen to music, and I grew up because my dad was a manager, and I grew up sleeping on the couch in recording studios and watching full sessions from initial tracking to overdubs to mixing and everything. So when I hear music at that age, even at 10 or 11, I'm reverse engineering it in my head.
Yeah, your palette was
so
far more.
I can remember being in the car with my parents they're listening to like Fleetwood Mac. Okay. And as a kid, I love Fleetwood Mac. I love the harmonies. I love the mixes. It feels good.
Yeah.
And I'm reverse engineering it. And I'm going, oh, that's not Stevie Nicks singing right there. That's Christy McVie. And she probably sang that as an overdub.
Right.
And most people just think like everybody just goes in and they start playing and they record the song. And I know what the knobs on the board do. And so I'm putting together this whole thing. So with the music that was really inspiring to me at that age, there were things that were happening production-wise that I had to figure out. How did they get that clap sound? You know, what was that?
Right.
What was that kick drum? You know, how are they locked in so tight like that?
Right.
You know, so you know, that kind of introspection on music, it was the most confounding to me in hip hop. Not only was it speaking to my soul, but it was speaking to me as a one day producer.
Right. And that you became. And it's funny because as I'm listening to you talk, like I thought when I look back, when I was a kid, I used to listen to, say, Thriller, for example, and you know, you listen to PYT, and I remember as a kid hearing, PYT, that sounds like Janet. So I was reverse engineering, like just hearing like certain things. And then you read the line and it was, oh, that was Janet. Oh, and it was LaToya too. Yeah. And then I found out that one of the girls that sang on that was the girl from Facts of Life.
Yes.
Natalie.
I just saw that Instagram post too. Yeah. I think what happened was, I think maybe she went to the studio because she was on the show maybe, but I saw Kim Fields was there too, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Like Natalie got a background credit.
Yeah.
One of the greatest records on
and what was it, Billie Jean?
No, it was PYT.
PYT.
Yeah.
Na, na, na,
you know,
na, na, na. You know,
I got one for you. I was just listening to, what's that song from Captain EO? Another part of me.
Yeah.
So I'm in the car with my wife and I'm like, a classic example of what I do. I'm like, you notice how the drums get really loud in the chorus right here? She's like, no. I'm like, yeah, well, it's like a whole different production. And I think if this was probably going to be on the Thriller album, they probably would have found a way to smooth it out.
Right.
But it's like two different songs. Next time you listen to it. It's like there's a whole other different drum machine. The snare doesn't hit as hard in the pre-chorus. Anyway, that's my nerd out.
Oh no. This is good.
Going,
this is what I that's why I set this up the way that I did, because I knew it was going to be a lot of production geek conversation. So to all you producers and songwriters out there that are into it like that, you're going to get a masterclass. Okay. Now, I mean, it's funny because you would have thought they would have compressed at least both sides during mastering.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't so much the compression, it was a completely different production on the drums. So singing out around the world.
Yeah.
It's a whole different, and then you just another part, and then it comes in real hard and heavy.
Interesting.
But I get making it smooth. I just think it was like, it almost sounds like great idea if I walked in and I would say, okay, now we got to mix it right. It just wasn't mixed right. And I don't know if it was because it was Captain EO and they didn't put the same kind of like
love
and intensity into it.
That happens, you know.
Yeah.
Like, especially during that time where Michael was kind of going through a few things, and even Captain Neo before it came out, people were kind of saying, I don't think it's going to be that great.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people were kind of trying to just rush, and they had their hands on a million things. That happens.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to big artists, like the priorities tend to shift.
I don't know who produced that.
I don't know either.
I don't think it was Quincy.
I mean,
if it was, he probably stepped away for a day or two.
Yeah, he went on vacation.
Yeah.
Because
or Bruce Swedeen, the mix engineer, did. I don't know.
He wouldn't have let that happen.
I mean, it's still great. See,
it's a great record.
That's the other conversation that I have with people a lot of times too, is because I'll listen to iconic records and I'll say some of them have great mixes, some don't, but I wouldn't change it.
Here's a prime example of that. The whole album, with the exception of 2 songs of Cooley High Harmony, were demos.
And they probably are the best versions to have put out.
Exactly. They tried to mix them. They sounded completely different. It was terrible. And our A&R at the time, Vita Sparks, I think you guys got demoitis.
Well, I know we're back in timeline, but I just got to say, at that time, I was really jealous that I didn't get on that album.
Really?
100%.
What's funny is that, one, it was such a weird time because the label didn't know what to do with us. And when we finally got with Dallas, we were pretty much kind of sheltered kids. And we just recorded that record in Philadelphia, and we didn't go pretty much anywhere else. We would go to New York sometimes, we'd go to Atlanta sometimes. For the most part, it was predominantly recorded in Philly. So Dallas was all we knew. Yeah. For the most part.
Well, at that time I was working with BBD, and
I know.
And I said something to Michael, and he was Michael's always been so gracious, and I'm so humbled to have had that time with them. And I didn't want to push too hard, and I guess there was just a lot going on.
That's interesting.
But
because we never knew.
And and Dallas was somebody that I looked up to in a huge way too. And he was contemporary, but I felt like at that time it was like I just wanted to do all I could, and I just maybe didn't have the right representation. Maybe
that's all.
It was just me.
A lot of time. No, I mean, it's funny how there's certain people that you run into, and we have these same conversations, and I'm like, well, I don't know how we never did link up. Like, I don't know what happened. And just like you said, it's a lot of it gets mixed up in translation or lost in translation. People's priorities shift, It's, and how it's that whole Hollywood thing. Yeah. Let's do lunch. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Call me later.
Call. Let my people call your people, and blah, 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 and that's what happens sometimes.
I will make a call to somebody, even if I don't have the answer, just so I don't become that person.
Yeah. And sometimes by default, it just happens.
Yeah.
Like I know I do. And let me apologize to some of those people who I said, hey, I'm going to call you. And I never called. Sometimes, and I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes
it just
I really get overwhelmed, and I might just forget to make that phone call. It's not a Hollywood thing. It's not I'm trying to.
You just got shit going on. You got a family and work.
It's and a lot of people tend to not really take that under consideration. But just like you said, we got families, and we're trying to plan vacations and school trips for the daughter and all this other stuff on top of, hey man, you got to get that project in by such and such. Hey, we're going on tour next week. You got to make sure that. So you're like, holy hell. So sometimes you forget.
Yeah.
You know what it is, Sean? As we get older, this is what I've learned, is when we get older, we all have shit going on. We understand, like, Sean's going to be my guy forever. But every day we wake up and there's a fucking laundry list of things to do.
Yeah.
And if you're not on that list, that day is going to go by without me hitting you.
Yeah. Real talk.
We're just dealing with what's in front of us every day. And when you get older, we understand that when you're younger, you get in your feelings like, Sean hasn't hit me in 3 weeks. Sean's busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Sean's just trying to survive.
I really am. Like and that's it. It's
that's
no
why
other explanation.
As you get older, your circle gets a lot smaller.
100%.
And they understand it. You could not talk to your best friend for 4 months, and he'd be like, cool, man.
It doesn't mean anything. The love's still there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like you said, the circle gets smaller because only your real friends understand that.
Yeah.
They get that. But before we continue, right, I have to shout out Bret's mama, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
See, again, we go way back.
Yeah.
And
by the way, my mom, she shouted you out on my way here.
Okay.
And she said, "Tell Sean how much I love him, and
You know
tell
I love
him,
your mama.
and tell him that I knew he was such a good guy because him and his mom picked me up from the airport.
Yes.
And his mom is just like me.
That's right.
And
That's right.
thick as thieves.
I love your mama. Yeah, his mother actually interior decorated my very first like nice house. Like when I got into a little money and I got and it wasn't a big house. It was just a nice condo in Voorhees, New Jersey. And I found out that your mom does interior decorating, and I just threw her a budget.
What was the budget, Sean?
And it was a lot.
What was the budget, Sean?
It was a lot. So I
How
was
many zeros, Sean?
And I was like, Jackie, do your thing. I like these colors, and I like this type of material, fabric, whatever. She said, Sean, I got you.
Yeah. I think you met her at Biv's house.
Yes.
She had just done Biv's house.
His house. Right. And I was like, well, if she
Didn't
can
she
do
do
this
like
to
a
him.
whole like Biv 10 basketball court in the backyard and
Yeah,
everything?
she did all of that.
Yeah.
She did all of that. Now, my house wasn't as large, but when I say she covered it from the top to the bottom, she furnished the whole thing. Special materials for the couch and like all like no, she went in. So again,
She's going to love this.
love you, mama. Thank you for making my condo so fly.
Things have come a long way since then.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Yes, it has. But
Yeah.
no, I just had to give your mama a shout.
Thank you.
Now let's go to your career. Now, in high school, New Edition played at your school.
Oh, yeah. So Taft High School in Woodland Hills, Kiss FM
Okay.
out here in LA was doing a contest.
What year was that?
Yeah, I'm about to say, what year?
This must have been...
This is Rick D's run with Kiss,
This is
right?
Rick D's run. This
Yeah.
must have been...
I'm about to say, probably
This
late
must have
80s?
been 84, 85, 86, maybe.
Yeah, mid 80s.
Cool It Now
Mhm.
is obviously before Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Whatever high school sent in the most postcards got a lunchtime concert by New Edition. And
Not bad.
every
Not a bad deal.
every class,
Good lunch.
Yeah.
every class, they would, I don't know, for a month before or whatever it was, like leading in, they would stop class for 5 minutes. Everybody fill out your postcard. They would collect them, and we must have just smashed
Y'all
it.
went in.
Yeah, we went in.
I doubt
Yeah.
anybody actually counted these postcards. They were just like, there's a bunch here, pick
Yeah.
them.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Winner.
How many bags? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So they came in.
They came in.
All right.
It was a big
and
deal.
You met the DeVoe family.
So the day that they played, I remember I was with my friends, and we're like by the gate. They played on the football field. They had a stage set up and everything, and so that was a big deal. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because I just had met Jay Anderson
Yep.
like a month or two after that. I'm like I had a little Honda Spree scooter, and he had one. And he pulls up, and somebody introduced him. He's like, "Oh, you're Epic." He's like, "I've been hearing about you, and you need to come with me." And I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Actually, I don't know." We were talking. He's like, "You have a drum machine and DJ set up in your room." I was like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah, man.
So he comes over, and then he's like, "We got to go to Ronnie's house right now." And so
Yeah.
he introduced me to the DeVoes.
Okay, now let me go back. He mentioned the name Jay Anderson. Jay Anderson was part of the Anderson family. James Anderson was the father. James Anderson was bodyguard for Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, and Boyz II Men. So again, the connection was always there.
Right.
Yeah. And James was like an uncle to us, a father figure or whatever.
And the Anderson family's extended family of mine, Jamal, Jaleel,
Anderson
everybody.
Was the Dirty Bird
The original
that
Dirty
played
Bird.
for the Atlanta
Yeah.
Falcons. Yes.
Yeah, remember the Super Bowl?
Yes. We
Atlanta
all remember that
Falcons.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I just wanted to preface that with what you just mentioned. Jay Anderson, part of the legendary royal family, the Andersons.
Yeah.
But okay, so you met the DeVoe brothers, and after that, you hung out at Ronnie's studio cooking up music. Then the guys in NE. Well, wait first.
Yeah.
You were DJing for Roland and Robert DeVoe.
My boys were Roland and Robert DeVoe.
Yes. The Throwdown Twins.
The Throwdown Twins. They made me their DJ.
Okay.
And I'm working on beats in Ronnie's little studio at home there.
Okay.
He had a Lin 9000 drum machine.
Okay.
And so I was there almost every day after. And sometimes I'd walk in the house and Ronnie wasn't home. Roland, Flo was home.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Who's that?" It's like, "Bret."
Right.
Your fourth son.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, come on in.
Yeah.
You know where the room is.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. So after that, we're cooking up music with Ronnie in Ronnie's studio, and the guys in NE asked you to do the remix. Like, how did that even come to fruition? Like, you went from DJ for the Throwdown Twins to working on...
So, you know who Divine Styler is?
Of course.
So me and Divine...
Saying nothing.
Yeah, me and Divine and like we just had a crew that was a legit trend-setting crew here in LA. The Soul Brothers.
Yep. The dancers.
That was our circle.
Yeah.
And so in a way I was like connected to that, but my proximity and being with the Throwdown Twins and the beats that I was making and everything, it just kind of made sense. And so they had just finished doing they did the Heartbreak album with Jimmy and Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whose idea it was to do this like hip hop remix of Heartbreak, but there was a bunch of rapping in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they asked me. They had to go do a session at Sunset Sound one night.
Okay.
And so, for me to hang out with Roland and Rob was one thing. For me to hang out with New Edition was another thing.
Yes, different level.
So this particular night, I'm hanging out with New Edition.
Yeah.
And so I go to the studio with them. I forgot who I rode with, but the whole point was we're going to talk to Lul Silas, who rest in peace, A&R at MCA Records. We're going to talk to Lul about you doing the remix. And so I remember being at Sunset Sound. They had to do some vocals on something. I don't know what it was for, but I'm sitting on the couch in the hallway at Sunset Sound, and I see Michael and I see Mike and Ron talking to Lul, and I can't really hear what they're saying, but all I see is Lul Silas say, "Who the fuck is Epic?" Right? And then they point over at me, and I'm like,
it's just me.
That would be me.
Hello. So he's like, cool, fine. He approved it, and
wow.
So whatever it was,
best decision he made.
A few days later, I show up to the studio on Ventura Boulevard where we're doing the remix, and there was literally about 8 2-inch reels, flight time recordings, New Edition. And
wow,
I'm walking in there with my SP 1200.
Right.
That was my battle axe.
Right.
I already had the whole remix done, programmed and everything. So I was ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these reels.
Right.
Right. So we just had to find the one that had all the vocals.
Right.
That's really all I needed.
Yeah.
So there was a SMPTE code on one of the reels. And if you don't know what a SMPTE code is,
Tell me what a SMPTE
it sounds
code
like a fax machine kind of. It's a digital code that's used to sync up either another tape machine or MIDI or, keyboards or anything sequenced or programmed. It would keep time.
It's like that thing for like movies when they go,
yeah,
like that. It's simple.
Take 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So so I'm like, oh, cool. There's SMPTE on it, which means there's a lock tempo on it. There was no lock tempo on it. The only reason the SMPTE existed on the tape was to slave another 2-inch reel machine to it. Jimmy and Terry played the whole song on octapads live. No
Oh yeah,
No,
that's what they did.
Yeah, no quantizing.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And it kept the feel really loose and
Yeah.
cool and real, but it made it really difficult for me having a song
Yes.
sequenced.
Yes.
So we had to go through the whole song 2 bars at a time. Every time it would started to drift a little bit, we would have to stop and go back.
Boy, you kids got it so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what we had to do to make records?
Yeah.
We had to have big 2-inch reel tapes with big machines and SMPTE codes and syncing and all that other shit. And
So you know, but on top of that, there's a lot of feelings and emotions that go with all of this. Because as much as I was excited, I was also intimidated.
Mhm.
And as much as I was intimidated, I still believed in myself. There was a lot of confidence also.
Mhm.
And I remember the session, by the time we got everything tracked and mixed, and it wasn't like today, boys and girls, it wasn't like you could be working on a mix and say, oh, I'm just going to save it and bring up something else, or I'll pick this up tomorrow. There was no coming back. Coming back to a studio to do a recall on a mix was a very big deal. Every
Yes.
knob,
had to
every
be-
effect.
that's right.
A second engineer would, if you didn't have it, they would have to log every
On these pieces of paper.
on a piece of paper.
That would simulate the mixing board.
Simulate the mixing board and the
they'd have to-
effects racks.
yes,
and they would put
100%.
a little a line where each knob
Yes,
was.
right.
And it took sometimes 2 hours just for them
Yes.
to have I don't know why they didn't just they probably took pictures too.
Yeah.
And then they would have to put tape on the board or something. And,
Yep.
you know, or it was a big deal to leave.
Yeah.
So you basically had to get it. And so it was about,
crazy.
about a 28 to 30 hour session
Yeah.
from the time we started to the time we finished.
Mhm.
And I remember being in my car driving home. And at this time, I'm probably like 19 years old or something. And the amount of imposter syndrome, I didn't know I didn't know that was the name for it. But I had big time imposter syndrome. I felt
In what
like
way?
what I told myself was, oh my God, I fooled them. They think I actually know what I'm doing. You know?
Got away with it.
I got away with it. They think I know what I'm doing.
But you did know what you were doing.
I did, but I think that's a healthy feeling,
Okay.
you know, because I was just doing what I loved, and I did know how to do what I was doing. But at that point in my career, I was playing with the big boys.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this was a record coming out on MCA.
Right.
So now for me, I told you I was a drummer.
Yeah.
So for me as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, you asked me about the music I loved back then. Early New Edition, you know, I don't know what year it was, but they were in there. But I remember really before I became like a producer and I started really working on my own music, I was a drummer.
Yeah.
And so I would play to all my favorite bands.
Yeah.
And that was everything from New Edition to Prince to Rush to The Police. And when I would be playing drums and I would play to New Edition, there was an early version of manifesting going on in my head because I figured, well, they're only like a couple of years older than me.
Right.
So this could really happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it did.
And it did.
What's the hardest part of a record? Is it the mixing, the mastering? When you guys covered a lot in the process of finishing a record. What's the most delicate part or the most difficult process?
I think it's a little bit of all of it. Like, I mean, when
it
you're
the session
recording a
itself?
record, the session itself, you want to make sure you capture the right bits.
The most important thing to me is the song.
Yeah.
If you have a great song, whether or not it's produced as an EDM record or a rock record or an R&B record, if it can't kill
Right.
with me at a piano and Sean singing a cappella, it's probably not a great song.
What have I always said? I said this in a couple episodes. I said, if you cannot play a song either on a guitar by itself
For the keys.
or the keys,
Yeah.
it's not a song. Or to me, anyway. And in most cases, I've always said that. Like,
and why is that? For people at home watching, because obviously this is a little, you guys are getting, deep with it. But
when it's too much bells, whistles, and electronics, opposed to just feel, because at the end of the day, we're emotion mongers.
Yeah.
So the point is the song has to resonate in no matter what climate. Give you a prime example. Me and the guys were performing at Madison Square Garden, right? The sound went out. The sound went out. And the speakers just went for some reason. But there was still enough sound out there, right? So we couldn't use the whole band. So me and the guys said, hey. So we told the guitar player, hey, sit on this stool. Okay, put this mic right here. Boom, 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 boom. And we sang Water Runs Dry, which is that little bit of speaker. And the crowd went nuts. The point is you know what I mean? Like with minimal stuff, you still should be able to translate a record.
I think it shows on with Sean's songs.
Yes.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why I'm glad you suggested it, because it shows the organics of things. And it allows people to appreciate the minutia of a record, opposed to all the bells and whistles and the drums and the and all that other stuff. Yeah, it's nice, but if you can't strip down a record and still get the same feeling, if not more, then just like you said, you missed something.
Yeah, and the things that were difficult for me early on are much different than they are now.
Because of technology advancements? Is that why?
No, more so my experience.
Okay.
I used to fill up a production with so much shit. I didn't realize let simple, great parts be what they are.
Less is more.
Less is more. And I've learned that along the way. And, trying to flex production skills and throw all this extra stuff in there. Editorializing, less is more. Knowing how to make a great record. Knowing how to help the artist be the best artist they can be. Those are the things that are paramount to me these days.
Yeah.
Not me trying to show my skills, But I mean, I always found like, I just to answer the question, maybe going back to my early years, like I used to do a lot of hybrid drum machine and real drum stuff, and making the two work together was something that I spent a lot of time doing.
Well, with some of your most notable stuff, at least from my standpoint, I think you shine in a lot of areas, but the ones that kind of made my ears perk up was the work that you did with Bell Biv DeVoe. That album was a serious hybrid, especially for those guys who were in tuxedos and suits and stuff like that. They threw those away and replaced it with mismatched boots and spray painted jeans. I mean, what I know Biv can come to the table with a lot of crazy ideas, and BBD was such a, like I said, a hybrid. Like, what did he and the guys come to you for as a vision? Like, how did you narrow the shape? Like, how did you shape that production for that record? Because I knew that they were reaching out to be the people that I knew that they were, but how did you make it make sense? Because it's a great record.
Yeah, a lot of just hanging with them and watching them and listening to what they were listening to and being inspired by. I don't want to get too deep into it.
No. I mean, but I mean, because I know Biv can come with crazy ideas, because he did the same thing with us. Like, he would just come up with stuff where we'd be scratching our heads after he leave. Like, what the hell did he want to do? Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah. But basically, it was like they said, hip hop smoothed out on the R&B tip with the pop feel appeal to it.
So you had to explain, you had to articulate that though. You had to make that make sense. Like, what the hell is that? Like, if someone tells you that, it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, where do you begin?
I mean, all I know is there was a lot of great other collaborators on that record with them, and I'm so grateful and honored and humbled to have been part of that. And a memory that will never leave me is getting a call from them from Minneapolis. Yo, B, we're coming. We'll be back in LA in 2 days. We got a project we want to talk to you about. I couldn't sleep.
Right.
You know, this is after New Edition, Any Heartbreak. So we had talked about this before. Any Heartbreak, the remix that I did, that was the proving ground for BBD.
Right.
That whole song I did on my SP 1200. There were no other New Edition productions like that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, it wasn't. And it showed the edge.
Yeah.
That again, knowing Biv and knowing what they were trying to do at that time, it really shown as far as like who they were outside of being the guys in the suits and the, you know, the monkey suits, as we like to call them. But hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, because Bret is an amazing producer. We definitely have to do a part 2 to this conversation. But I do want to touch on, and we're gonna go back to a lot of these questions, but I do want to touch on at least your number one hit, Butterfly.
Okay.
With Crazy Town.
Yeah.
How did you meet Shifty? Shell Shock.
So after the BBD stuff, Dre had just left Ruthless Records and NWA. And Eazy-E approached me to come kind of fill in. They needed some producers. They had Yella, they had some other producers that were still down. And they wanted me to come to the table and bring some artists. I brought a group called Blood of Abraham, my boys, Ben Yada Mazik, love you, peace. There was another homie that was killing it on all the rap battles in LA. And his name was Will.i.am. And we managed to get them signed over at Ruthless. It was an amalgamation of a bunch of us.
The At Band Clan.
The At Band Clan was the first group. And so I was working on their first album, on Will's first album, the At Band Clan. Taboo was part of it.
Yep.
He was more so dancing back then, but he was there.
Yeah.
Apple was there. So we're working on their album, and I'm working on tracks for them, and I'm showing Will how the flow should go. So I jump on the mic, and I'm like, yo, you should hit it like this. And I'm looking at him one time I'm doing it, and he's just laughing. And is he laughing at me? No, he was like more so smiling. He's like, you need to start your own group. And he's like, it just dawned on me. I have somebody I want to introduce you to. I think you guys would make a great group. And I never really saw myself being on the other side of things. Yeah. But he brings Shifty by the studio one day. Seth Benzer, Shifty, rest in peace. He passed away last June. But he brings him by the studio, and we hit it off, and he's really taking his craft seriously, and we start working on music starting in 1995. Fast forward 98, we end up getting there was a bidding war. We ended up signing with Columbia Records, and we played Ozfest 2 years in a row, and
you guys smashed
we were darlings at alternative radio and K-Rock and everywhere. And then finally, Butterfly comes out, and it makes us huge pop successes beyond anything I expected.
International success.
International, yeah. I mean, I would have been fine with just the road we were on. Yeah. You know, we were on Ozfest, or, you know, playing with like great other bands, and we were actually really kind of heavy. Yeah. You know? Right. And Butterfly was a little bit of an outlier. Not completely. There were a couple of other more hip hop songs, but I had produced that record in a way that we were basically a band. There was a lot of electric guitar and bass and real drums, and it was very punk rock and edgy, and it was the beginning of what they call new metal. We didn't call it that. We were just doing what we were doing. Yeah. We were inspired by like the Beastie Boys and punk rock and stuff like that. And so And then Butterfly, we knew the labels wanted Butterfly as a big radio single. So one of the stipulations we had was it has to come out third. It can't be the first or second single.
Got you. Yes.
And it came out and it just
listen, we're gonna do a little bit of a rendition of that. And we're gonna do that because it's only right to do. You know, it's
all right, you got that looped?
No, I played this.
I know.
Yeah,
you got it looped. You played it.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Come, my lady, come, my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
Hey.
Come, my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make your legs shake, you make me go crazy. Come, my lady, come, my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
Hey.
Come, my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make your legs shake.
Oh, shit.
Hey, sugar mama, come and dance with me. The smartest thing you ever did was take a chance with me. Whatever tickles you fancy, girl, it's me and you like Sid and Nancy. So sexy, almost evil, talking about butterflies in my head. I used to think that happy endings only in the books I read, but you made me feel alive when I was almost dead. You fill that empty space with the love I used to chase, and as far as I can see, you don't get better than this. So Butterfly, here is a song, and it's sealed with a kiss and a thank you, miss.
Come my lady, come my lady.
You're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Come, my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make your legs shake. You make me go crazy.
Ow, hey. Yeah. My man, thanks for being a good sport. We're going to do a part 2 with this legend. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Bret Epic Mazur. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an honor.
We didn't even talk about anything that's happening now.
No. That's why we're doing a part 2. It's only because time and all this other stuff that's going on in this place, but we are going to do a part 2. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for hanging with your boy, Sean Stockman. Once again, please give it up for Bret Epic Mazur.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, and we're going to have you again.
Okay.
So please, and I mean that. So
right.
Part 2's coming soon, but check this out. Make sure you watch this one and the others before it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that other crap. Peace and love. We out. Hey y'all, and that was On That Note. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, here's a couple more videos for you to check out. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.